Hello and welcome back to the TCS podcast, where we are dedicated to helping you achieve extraordinary growth and success by supplying you with the tools, resources, and support necessary to not only build profitable businesses, but to create a lasting impact for your families, companies, and communities. I'm Eric Guy, president at TCS. And with us today, boy, this has been a trip trying to get you on here, trying to work our schedules out, my friend. But Thurman Trotman, he's going to give us kind of an angle that I thought might be helpful for some of our contractors today. And I'm probably going to try to dumb it down a little bit, Thurman, but you're a SharePoint expert. Is that fair?
Yeah, absolutely. That's totally fair.
Okay. So he's going to help us understand how to use it a little bit better, kind of dumb it down for some of us that aren't maybe so good with technology, and just to help our businesses. So welcome to the show, my friend.
Appreciate you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. So the funny story and why I'm laughing, gang, is just because what it took, we've had technical difficulties. We had technical difficulties so bad last week, we just had to call each other and be like, hey, we're done. Let's just move it to next week. And I've been doing podcasts all day. Not a problem. But to go let him into this fine technology suite, and just it blew up again on me. So We've got him on. But why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you might be valuable to our contractor community, Thurman.
So again, Thurman Trotman. I've been in this space working with SharePoint for over 17 years now at this point. But I'm a contractor myself, not in your world, but I'm a government contractor, and I've been doing that since 2004. So I've been doing that for a really long time. But the way I present myself to say I'm valuable to any community is basically, hey, what is it that you're doing? Is it something that I can help you do better? And if the answer is yes, that's how I prove myself to be valuable. And in my opinion, if you are paying for Microsoft, I don't even have to tell you. You probably know that you're paying for Microsoft and nowhere near using what you can use with that tool. Just like a cell phone, you pay your cell phone bill every month, and you get on social media, you make some calls, and then you take some pictures. Meanwhile, there's a million other things you can be doing with your phone that's like super powerful that you probably don't know about. So I'm here to just carve like one little piece out of the 365 suite and tell you that there's a tool in there called SharePoint, and I guarantee you don't use it to its full extent, if at all.
Yeah. So why don't we start there? What the heck is it? Like, for some of us, we might not even know what it is. So SharePoint, you just said Microsoft. I know Microsoft, but what is it? How can it function, especially for our contractors? Because we've talked before. So, and you do have experience with contractors and things like that. That's the reason you're on the show. But like, tell us all that. But walk us back first, and just act like there's some of us on here that don't even know what it is.
Yeah, that's not a problem. The technical term that maybe Microsoft would use is a content management system. I would say SharePoint is somewhere where you can put all your stuff. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's pretty much it. That is an easy way for you to remember what even is SharePoint. So if you think of, all of your files, all of your important things that belong to your business, you can put them in SharePoint. Now, the reason I say files is because most people, what they do know of SharePoint is it being a document storage area. That's the primary thing most people think of when they work inside of an organization, and they're like, hey, you can find the thing on SharePoint. And the thing they're usually talking about is a file. So totally understandable. But it's way more than that, and way too much to even dive into all of the things that it can do. But I would dumb it down and say it's just somewhere to pull all of your stuff. Let's say it's not a file. Let's say we're talking about like a process, like a documented process. How do you do this thing? You can put it on SharePoint. It doesn't have to be like a Word document or a PDF that you hang up there. It can just be a web page inside of SharePoint.
Yeah, and you said it comes with the suite. Is that right?
Yeah,
Or is
you pay
there?
for it. You're already
Yeah.
paying for it right now. You've been paying for it monthly. And every month it's been sitting there collecting dust while you pay for Microsoft.
And is it something? And again, I'm just asking questions that I hear. Right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
is it something that's easy to use? Is that why it would be beneficial to contractors? Or
Yeah, so after all of these years, I figured out the perfect person who can handle SharePoint by themselves. If you know one of them people who work inside your organization and they do like a bunch of things with, let's say, spreadsheets, they got their macros and their pivot tables and all this other stuff. And if you talk to them and you say, "Hey, aren't you, like a Excel guru or whatever?" And they might say, "No, no, no, but I know enough to be dangerous." Those people that use that terminology, they're really good. You know what I'm saying? Like they're good to teach SharePoint to because it's one of those things where if you don't have any guidance, you would have to teach yourself because Microsoft doesn't have like SharePoint school and there's a lot of people teaching things about SharePoint online, but there's no like in my opinion, a good start here. You know what I mean? I have a good start here, I think. You know what I mean? But there's no like start right here and go through these steps. So I would say it is a little bit challenging for especially somebody who's running a business. I don't expect the person who's running the business to do the things unless they want to. Maybe you have someone in operations, which is a lot of the times who I talk to, it'll be like there's a CEO, but then someone else is handling all the day to day. That person, if they're, one of the people that say I'm dangerous with technology, I know enough to be dangerous. And if they are really committed to just making things better, then yeah, 1000%. It's better for them than the person at the top of the food chain trying to do this stuff on a regular basis.
yeah, so I know some of this comes in handy, especially when we talk. I talk to contractors, and yeah, even in my own business with just SOPs, like standard operating procedures.
Hmm.
Like it just so it's not sitting in somebody's head. We can get it out there where we can share it, and this is how we do things. And I think a lot of contractors have difficulty with that because
Right.
it lives in their head, and like, where else do I put it? Because I want to scale, but nobody else knows how to do it, right?
Right.
And that's what we need to utilize this for. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. That's like one thing. If I was
Right.
to get like real specific, so I did say earlier, it's Microsoft's definition is hey, a content management system. I'll tell you, is a place to put all your stuff. Even more so, one of the acronyms that I try to tell people about so that they can remember what it could do is CMD. So Charlie Mike Delta. It's SharePoint can help you collect information, manage information, and display information like a website. The process that I usually talk about is people sending things through email, right? Like this is just normal behavior where you say, "Hey, I need you to quote fill out this thing," and it's going to be a spreadsheet or a Word document or something. Then they send it through email, and let's say they got to send it to 5 people. This is much on the low end. As soon as they hit send on that email, here we go. 5 copies of your data sent to 5 different people's inboxes, and they have to fill out information on that. But that turns into, am I filling out the right information? Hey, I need to delete this column. Hey, I want to bold my information because mine is more important than whoever's sending you something else. I'm gonna highlight this, and then that person gets back 5 different spreadsheets if they're lucky, and they have to copy that information out of that spreadsheet and put it into their main spreadsheet. That whole entire process is a little ridiculous, respectfully, because if I said, "Hey, have you heard of Netflix? You should go sign up for a Netflix account." If you went to Netflix's website or you called Netflix or something, and they say, "Yeah, in order for you to get an account, we need you to download this spreadsheet, put your information into it, and then send it back to us," you're gonna be like, "What are you talking about? I'm not
Yeah.
doing that." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
regular process to sign up for Netflix or to sign up for anything is you go to a website, you press a button, you see a form come up, you put your information into that form, and then you hit submit, and you understand that that information goes into Netflix's data sources, and you probably get some confirmation email. That process It's something we're all used to. We do it on computers, we do it on our phones. It's very basic. So I don't think it makes sense to now go to work and say we're going to do a different process where we send out spreadsheets, especially since you have a tool available to you that allows you to eliminate that process. So SharePoint
Mhm.
gives you that Netflix experience. You can send somebody to a page, they press a button, they fill out the information. Maybe you're doing an inventory and you're saying, hey, I need to know what equipment you have at your workstations. So you send people to a site, they press a button, they fill out the information, they hit submit. And now you have all of that information sitting inside of your SharePoint. That's one process, one specific process you can eliminate pretty easily with SharePoint.
Mhm. And when you go in there, it looks very overwhelming, at least
It
to
is.
somebody like me.
It is.
But am I right? You help with that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I have taken for granted the information that I've known and built up over these years. I didn't realize that I had so much in my head because to me it's basic stuff at this point. So I was telling somebody yesterday, I like to use the gym as an example. If you walk into the gym, most people who've never been into the gym before, they walk into the gym and they feel completely overwhelmed. They're like, "What is that machine? What is that machine? What is this person doing? Everybody looks so fit and they look so confident. They know what they're doing. I'm leaving. I'm getting out of here." You know what I'm saying? Like because this is too much. But if you walk in there with like a personal trainer will take all that anxiety away from you. They'll be like, you don't even have to worry about that side of the gym. Just come over here. Let's start
Mhm.
with some bench presses or let's do some squats. And they're going to walk you through that. And then the next time you come to the gym, if it's been enough times, you feel a little bit better because now you understand what you're looking at. You know what you need to do. You know how much time you should probably spend in there. That's where I come in. I'm like your personal trainer. You know what I'm saying? But the gym without a personal trainer is like very overwhelming to a lot of people. The difference is you can leave the gym and never come back and be like, I'm not going there. But work, when you come to work, you ain't got no choice. You got to keep going there every day. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it would be useful if you could get somebody to help you use those tools better.
Yeah, I know a lot of times I'll look at stuff and be like, "Oh, that's cool. We do it." And then it's like, yeah, then it's like all of a sudden it was overwhelming.
Hmm.
What are like from your work with other contractors, we're going into the gym, it's our first time. What are like the first two or three things that you're helping us with?
Yeah, I would say a site. So inside of SharePoint, you could create websites. These are literal websites. So just when you think of like a .com that you know of, you can do literally the same thing inside of SharePoint, except only your company can see it. Only the people inside of your organization have access to it. So it's an internal website. The terminology most people use is intranet. But this is where I start with people because I'm like, let's just get a place where you can put everything because as we continue to grow and work together, you're going to keep putting everything back on that site. That is your one central location to know where we've put everything. So at minimum, let's create a site. And then that's what's on the site. Well, what are you managing your business? What when you think of the main page that everybody sees when they come to your .com, your public.com, what do you want them to see when they go to your website? You want them to see like who works here? You want them to see what services you offer? You want them to be able to book a call with you? Like that's how you think of your public.com. Your internal website, what do you want your internal folks primarily to access when they come to this site? Is it, HR policies? Is it the SOPs that we've been talking about? Is it your benefits or let's say it's onboarding. You just got a new employee, you can set up your
Mhm.
entire onboarding process on SharePoint. So what is it that you want folks to see when they first get there? And then again, like I said, as we work more with each other, then you continue to put more things on that site because work is never ending. It's always a whole thing. So that's where I would start is create that site and then let's you know put more things on the site.
Yeah, what are some other things that we could possibly be missing that we're not even thinking about that would go on there? Is there anything
Yeah.
else like right off the bat that would be a quick wins?
Yeah, so spreadsheets. If you manage a spreadsheet or 10, and you want to rip your hair out, you know what I'm saying? Then one of the things that so this is a decision I usually have to make with a customer. I would say we start with a site, unless this is the caveat, unless they are stressed over some spreadsheet process that they're doing or spreadsheet combination with their Outlook, with their inbox, we eliminate that. Like I usually would say, how much of a priority is this thing? And if we can eliminate a headache by getting rid of that spreadsheet, then I'm all in. So that's another thing. If you have your again, let's go back to inventory. I don't know if there's like some expensive yes, I do. There are expensive pieces of software that a lot of people in the construction industry will go and purchase because the other person down the street who runs their business, they use that too. And this is the
Hmm.
industry standard. Now, in a lot of industries, that may or may not be true, but a lot of industries don't know about this tool inside of Microsoft. So if you have you're keeping your inventory on a spreadsheet, or you're keeping your inventory inside of this expensive software, if you're on two ends of the spectrum. So on one end, you're like, I hate these spreadsheets, but I'm not about to pay for this expensive software. This software is cool, but it costs way too much, and we only use 3 features out of the 20 that they offer to us. So in the middle is where I would show up with SharePoint and say, well, look, this is way better than spreadsheets. And while it may not have 100 bells and whistles like the expensive tool, I guarantee you could still get your job done and do what you need to do. So you need to manage inventory, and you don't want to do that on spreadsheets, and you also don't want to pay to put it in that other tool. Cool. Let's put it in SharePoint, give access to everybody, create views where they only see the inventory for their office, run workflows on it that says, hey, you need a
Yeah,
reminder that you need to do services on your equipment. All of that. You can do all of that in SharePoint today for zero extra money. And that's
yeah,
not an exaggeration at all.
yeah. That was actually my next question was workflows. Like, as companies scale, like it's easy when there's just 3 people, but
Mm-hmm.
as you start to build out, it's like, well, what do we do here? What do we do there? Like, and you said like it's something as simple as maintenance with our machines because we have a lot of contractors that have machines and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you can build that out in it as well to keep track of, correct?
Yeah. Today.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, and that's crazy. You said it's free, right?
Yeah, yeah. As in you
Yeah,
already
you
pay
already,
for it. If
yeah,
someone is listening to this right now and they go, I don't know what this guy's talking about, he's probably lying. And then they
yeah,
go into their system, or they go to YouTube, or you can find me on YouTube or TikTok, or you find any one of these folks like me on the internet talking about this stuff. You'll be blown away when you see, oh wow, I really do have access to this today, and I don't have to pay for it. It's it's kind of crazy what Microsoft is doing, but I do understand it because they have the ability to offer these things at these prices because they're Microsoft.
mhm,
So they're a $1 trillion company. They have market share from over 20 years ago since they've been putting their stuff inside of people's offices. So for them to spin up something this powerful, it's doable because they're in all of your offices. You know what I'm saying? Like they're like the default. So
yeah,
yes, it's there, and it's getting better every day, which is crazy because they just dropped another feature on there the other day, which makes what I'm talking about even easier to do, which is like, spin up some workflows. It's crazy.
yeah. What was the new thing?
So if you needed to create a workflow, you would have to take a few extra steps, or maybe even, get on YouTube or reach out to somebody like me. Now they've made some pre-built workflows that all you have to do is what is that when you Mad Libs? Yeah, I think it's like Mad Libs when you have blank letters, spaces, and you just put words in. So yeah, now it's like Mad Libs. So you go and you go to your inventory list that you're tracking in SharePoint, and then you pick one of the workflows. So you say, hey, when there's an update, I want to send Eric an email or post a message in Teams. So you click that thing, and it'll say, all right, who do you want to send the workflow to? I put in Eric's name, and it says when a list item changes. Then I hit save. Then I move on. And again, this is not an exaggeration. It really is that easy. So it's I put a lot of videos out on TikTok, and I talk about this stuff on LinkedIn. But if and I do put it out on YouTube too. But the stuff I put out on TikTok shows what I'm talking about. So if you want to test the waters first and see what this is even looking like, then you can find me on TikTok. But like I said, this stuff is all over the place. There's just in my world, it feels like everybody's talking about SharePoint, but I know most
Right.
people are like, "What were you even talking about?"
Yeah.
So you do a search and you'll see it. It's
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Yeah, I'm not having that conversation when I'm having coffee with somebody. It's not just coming up. It's like, yeah, SharePoint, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because it could do a lot of things. It improves accountability. I mean, you're
Mhm.
talking about reducing admin waste. I mean, the list goes on and on and on, and it is kind of ironic that we pay for it already. We're not using it.
Mhm.
Um, but just to go back so people understand, like you're designed to do this. I mean, this is your expertise. You are a personal trainer for this. So if we wanted to reach out to you, and I think, it makes sense to have you on other things that we do just to help out. But
Nice.
how do people get in touch with you? You mentioned TikTok. How do we find you there?
Uh, that's actually a really good question. I don't know, but if you look up SharePoint, you might find me. I was going to
Okay.
say the best place to the best place to reach me is if you go to talksharepoint.com. Then you could just schedule
Talksharepoint.com.
a free half hour with me to just do a consultation and see. Maybe your question is, hey, do I need to actually have a site? I would tell you yes, you know what I'm saying, without even talking to you. But
Yeah.
I'll give you a chance to let's have a banter, you know what I'm saying? We can talk about it. And if you go to talksharepoint.com, we can have a conversation. I can give you the nuts and bolts that apply to your situation.
Oh, that's awesome. And then, as far as size of company, Thurman, like who do you contractor wise? Where's like the sweet spot to be using something like this? Obviously, when we start, but
Yeah.
what do you typically see when we actually need it?
Well, I was gonna say, yeah, a smaller company is really the sweet spot, but it's like a personal thing. The
Hmm.
personal thing is that the smaller you are, the more you're able to, affect change across the organization. So if you got, 10, 15 people, this is great because, the line from leadership to the person who's boots on the ground is super short. And if you want to change things, you could change things in a few months. Bigger organization, SharePoint does support the enterprise. But in order to get something to happen, you know what I mean? You got this big organization that has to do a whole lot just to get something done. So it's possible, but sweet spot to your point is the smaller companies that I love working with.
Yeah.
Um,
And
they get
that's
the
probably
turnaround.
where you could see the most impact too. That's kind of the
Yeah,
reason that I decided to kind of bring you on is like, the bigger bang for the buck is like, oh man, we can do workflows, we can do business asset, we can do, platforms for communication, like you said, the internal website, the process management system, SOPs, all
hmm
that stuff can be held in there and then it's not stuck inside the founder's head,
right,
right? And then we can
absolutely.
scale. So yeah, that is definitely good stuff. I didn't want to forget, Thurman. I've got some rapid fire questions for you
Okay,
if you want to handle a few. Is that good?
yeah, I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
good. Let's do it.
All right. Um, here we go. You ready?
I think so.
I got to put my glasses on for this.
Right.
What do you think? And this is just your first instinct. I'm not looking for right or wrong here. Some of these are opinions.
Got it.
Biggest tech mistake contractors make.
Um, Putting technology above people. If you hear your leadership say something like, "Yeah, our process is broken, but don't worry, it'll be fine once we buy this tool," wrong. Right off top.
Good answer. Oh, this is a good question. Paper or digital, which is more dangerous?
Digital.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's these days digital can go it just goes too far. You know what I'm saying? You could be typing something on your phone, not knowing if Google is like, all right, well, we like that. Let's share that with everybody else.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? Digital is way more dangerous.
Biggest misconception about SharePoint that you've heard?
Oh, that is just a document storage tool. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Set you up for a good one here. DIY or hire help?
I hate to say it depends, but I'm gonna say it depends. Because you know what? I'm gonna draw a line. I'm gonna say hire help because there's a pretty sizable community of people who have been using SharePoint for years now. And to be quite honest, that's really truly how you get the most out of it, is if you know how to use it. And that takes a long time. And so I would say hire help because we could guide you.
I would agree when we're talking about this.
Yeah.
100%. One thing every contractor should centralize immediately.
Processes.
Okay.
I think that's an easy one. Every single process that you manage, you own, you understand, whatever, make it easy to get to in one location, one knowledge base.
How long before a contractor sees ROI?
Okay, it's gonna sound like, again, I'm exaggerating, but I don't do exaggerations. I don't like doing that because then I can get called on it.
Yeah.
I would say a couple of days. I'm not lying.
Yeah.
And maybe a few hours. Seriously.
Yep. I agree. And then one last quick fire question here. One feature contractors would love but don't know about.
Probably the workflows that I was talking about. This is looking crazy. And if you pay for it, I have seen, I haven't done it myself yet, but if you pay for Copilot, Microsoft's AI solution, oh man, it's looking kind of wild. You know what I'm saying? If what I saw is really truly there, and I did see the SharePoint team doing it, and they're not like marketing, so I do believe it. I would say the workflows, but if you pay for Copilot, is about to get wild. From what I saw, looks good.
My daughter was just schooling me on that before we
Oh, nice.
came on here. She's like, well, you know what you're talking about, right? I'm like, yeah, I got it down. Like, so
Good deal.
if I can understand it, Thurman, you did a great job, buddy.
Okay.
So, all right. So
good deal.
Yeah, this is very helpful. Thanks for the patience of getting you on here. I really appreciate you sharing with our community. Hopefully we can have you back and some other things.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah, good stuff, man. Thanks again. That's a wrap for today, guys, on the TCS podcast. Until next time, keep leading, keep growing, and keep winning. We'll see you next time.